Welcome into the Blitz Breakdown, presented by Blitzalytics.com, sponsored by Key City Brewing. Drink, Rebel, Repeat. Ashton, Mo!
What's
What's
good?
going on, dude? I got coffee today. Sorry, man.
Oh, then I'll have to follow suit somehow, but I guess I'll just have to go off of fantasy to get me up and going, because this might be my favorite time of the year, next to obviously the Super Bowl, but it's fantasy draft time. I just got done with one 2 nights ago. I got 2 more coming this weekend, so I'm like, this is it. This is where my priorities lie. So let's make something out of it. Let's help the people, and let's try to share some insight, shall we?
Let's do it. So today's structure of the... We usually don't have much structure. Now that it's me and Ashton, we just kind of like ad-lib and freestyle this thing as much as possible. Let me get at least...
Let it come to us.
Oh my God, where am I at? All right, right there. I got it. We usually just let it come to us, but today we want to have some fun. Fantasy football is here. I've been mock drafting like crazy. I survived a hurricane that never showed up. So it's not funny at all, because
Shouts to those in Louisiana, man.
Hope everybody's okay. It was crazy. We basically almost got hit, but I had to postpone a couple drafts. Thank God everybody was willing to do that for me. But I had one on Sunday night. We were supposed to have really nasty weather, and then the nasty weather missed us, and then we were supposed to get hit by a hurricane on Monday. Prepped for the hurricane, got my whole property ready. Took like 4 or 5 hours outside getting everything hunkered down, and then the hurricane missed us by like 15 miles, and we had like clear weather pretty much the whole day. You know, a little bit of rain, a little bit of wind, but it was
blessings on blessings.
Yeah, got lucky for sure. But now I've got 4 drafts in a total of like 24 hours, basically a 24-hour span here between Sunday and Monday. So
are none of them overlap?
None of them overlap, actually.
Okay.
I think it's like on Sunday it's noon, 3, 5, and then early morning Monday.
That's a full day.
Yeah. So my family really thinks that we're gonna hang out on Sunday. They got another thing coming.
Just bring them along. Bring them along for the ride.
I'm like, hey, I'm coming over. I'm gonna hang out at the family barbecue, but don't bother me. Don't talk to me.
Yeah.
Don't look at me.
I'm gonna be in the zone.
I'm gonna be drafting from the pool.
Yeah.
It's not a bad idea, dude.
That's a good idea.
Ooh, that is. I think I could do that.
I think you could pull that off. But then if you draft really well, that's how you're going to have to draft every draft.
Yeah, I'm going to have to get a pool. All right. Well, we got about an hour, because I got to play double duty today and go brew some beer. So, again, what we were talking about is we're going to go through a love-hate list for a 12-team mock draft ADP through our guys at Fantasy Pros and their Draft Wizard tool. We did not draft this. We are just going to be picking apart an auto draft, telling you guys round by round who we like, who we don't like. Me and Ashton have not shared this info. Obviously, we hang out, we talk every day, so we know who we like, who we don't like. But this is going to be kind of off the cusp, and we're going to see what we can do. And hopefully fill you all in with whatever fantasy knowledge we may provide, and hopefully not butcher your team. So,
fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. Like I said, I hate fantasy football because it hates me. So
there you go.
That's how I feel about this game. But yet I'm still here, like Golem, and I need my precious. So without further ado,
it's a legit addiction at this point.
Sir, who do you love in round 1?
I'm leading it off. Oh wow. Okay. So
snake order. We gotta go snake order.
So you get first next round.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, fine. So yeah, the thing with the first round, man, it's just really difficult to go a wrong way with this type of this crop this year. It really just comes down to who you want to root for and who falls to you. I think there's things I like about everyone at this point. I would say probably the most safe bet that I feel still offers a pretty high ceiling. I'll just say Aaron Jones. I think not much has really changed from last year's Packers offense, so there's not much reason to change how the distribution is going to lay. They might get A.J. Dillon more involved, sure, but in terms of like pass catching options, I would say he's Rodgers' second favorite target behind Devontae. So when you're talking about floor, it's there, and we're talking about ceiling. I think he scored 17 touchdowns or something crazy last. Like he puts it in the end zone. So yeah, I'm going to go with Aaron Jones.
All right, you definitely took my answer on
All
that
right,
one.
let's start
And
it
that
off.
was one we talked about, so that was kind of snaky of you.
You took me first. Let's go. On the board, Aaron Jones.
So I gotta take low hanging fruit, and I don't understand. Like I mean low hanging fruit, but I don't understand how he's not number one. Like Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry is his workload over the last 2 years has massively increased, and that scares the hell out of everybody. But he's a grown man playing with Pop Warner kids, like when it comes down to it. He's been hit in the mouth like one time. Like in his entire college and pro career, he has legit taken one solid uplifting like decleater, and that was by Tampa Bay Buccaneers current safety Justin Evans. But that was back when he was at A&M. It was go watch it. It was gnarly.
Real quick.
What?
12,124 yards for 8.7 yards per carry and 153 touchdowns. That was his high school stats. Every time you bring up Derrick Henry, I'm going to mention his high school stats. They need to be known more. It's the most wonderful stats in history. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, again, you're furthering my point. Yeah, he ran a lot in college or in high school and college, and then he had this break where he only had 110 rushes, and then 176 rushes, and then it bumped up to 215, and then to 303, and then to 378. But, like, he is still going to be the focal point of this offense, and he's still going to be the monster. I don't know how he's not number one, and Christian McCaffrey is my favorite player in the whole freaking league, but throughout the first round, all you are predicting, because you're basically accepting that you're taking a running back. Like, and you're in the first round, you're most likely going to take a running back. You see Travis Kelce and Stephon Diggs and Devontae Adams sneak into the back end of the first round, and that's cool and all, but I think taking running back, maybe even running back this year is more important, more vital than any other year before, because it's so thin. It's so thick at quarterback. It's so thick at wide receiver. It is so thin at running back this year. So Derrick Henry is, I think, the most surefire thing that is not going to get hurt, because he hasn't been hurt yet. He's in the few times where he's had a little ankle sprain, he still like played through it and had 100-something yards rushing. I mean, once Julio Jones is taking the top off this defense and stretching the field,
open the box,
it's going to be this is going to be, I think, his biggest year. I really do. I think it's going to be a 20 touchdown season and another, 2,000 yards.
Wow.
Yeah, 2,100 yards from scrimmage, dude. Like,
yeah, he's an outlier. He's an athletic outlier, and on a field of athletic outliers. But
who do you hate?
No, you're good. No, he's the man. I dislike going him in this round, and it's just going to be Stephon Diggs, and it's specifically just wide receiver based. Like you just said, you need to nail down getting a running back in this round so you can build the rest out of it, because there's a plethora of wide receivers and a select few running backs that you could feel confident in that RB1 spot. And yeah, I would say Stephon Diggs, but I do like Stephon Diggs in the next round. But just for first round pick, I'm going to say I dislike it.
Yeah, so don't you love/hate when the guys you took in like the 5th and 6th round the year before are now first round picks? Like, It's so bittersweet, because you're like, I was right.
I was there.
I told you so.
Yeah,
like, I am the king of this. Like, I know best, but no. Now he's there, and now it's the guy that I loved taking last year. I want nothing to do with this year, at least at his current ADP. If you're sneaking into the top of the first, no. Devontae Adams, I can make sense with, because him and Aaron Rodgers are going to make magic this year. It's going to be that MVP-like season. He's going to kill it. I do think that, like, DeAndre Hopkins...
Is he worth missing on an RB1 for, though?
No.
Okay.
But, I mean, it just depends who's all there. Like, I'm not taking... I mean, if you're at the back end of the first, and Saquon's gone, and Jonathan Taylor's gone, and Chubb is gone, and I'm staring at, like, Zeke, or I'm staring at Clyde or Joe Mixon, who are, like, the next groups of running backs to go, I'll probably take Davante Adams over that.
Okay.
So that is who my hate is Ezekiel Elliott. I don't know, just because you see him on Hard Knocks and you see the abs, I don't like Zeke. He's a fumbling machine. He has shown the ability to get fat during the offseason, so he's shown the ability to be lazy at times. He doesn't have the offensive line like he did in his rookie year. Especially if anything happens again to Tyron Smith, he is like the centerpiece and focal point of that entire team. If his back goes out again, which has it gone out once or twice or three times? I'm starting to lose count at how many years he hasn't been able to play a full healthy season. He's the best left tackle when he is healthy, but hasn't been healthy much at all. I hear good things. I hear he's gonna be solid this year, but.
You're not taking Zeke. You don't like Zeke there.
I don't like Zeke. I don't like that offensive line. Connor Williams is Like there's so many guys that are on the O line. I like Dak, but all right. Who do I love in the second round? Man, that one's tough. That really is, because I mean, obviously you're gonna go right there and you're gonna look at like Tyreek Hill. If you have to take a wide receiver, like Tyreek Hill is the easy option there because he's the most surefire person. Like I always like to just make sure that I don't miss in the first round. I'm not trying to hit homers. I'm trying to hit fucking triples, like, and doubles. Like, just get on base. Don't fuck this a pickup. And that is Tyreek Hill to the max. And he should be the number one wide receiver over, I think, Davante Adams. I really do. But if I'm picking a player right now, and where I've picked the most, it's been Antonio Gibson.
Oh, okay.
So I actually think that he is the best running back in that entire second round. You have Eckler, you have Gibson, you have Najee Harris, you have Joe Mixon, you have Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Yeah, I like him out of all of those guys is the best.
I got you. Yeah, there is a possibility. I'm not saying it's a large one, but he could potentially transform into like a Christian McCaffrey type player in terms of like being utilized in both facets of the game and as like a consistent check down option. He was a wide receiver in college. He's a converted running back. So he's he's learning how to become a professional running back with the skills of a wide receiver. So it depends on how they utilize him, but I really like his ceiling this year.
Dude, he's a wide body though. For playing receiver, like he has got
he's huge.
Grown man running back body. He can run between the tackles. That boy can run, he can run through the zero, like, and not it be an issue. So I love Antonio, especially because you have such an upgrade in the offense, because you have such an upgrade on like at the quarterback position. And who knows if Cam Newton, be sliding up in there, here in a few weeks. I know we really didn't talk about that.
Ooh, with Ron Rivera? I haven't heard. Yeah, I like that.
I think it's either for Cam, it's got to be what? Washington or Houston.
Yeah, I could see him going to Washington.
You have the Ron Rivera connection.
That team needs a little bit more swag, too. Just a little bit more swag would go a long way.
And I think him and Fitz would get along together really well.
For sure.
In a lot, like him, Fitz, and Taylor Heineke. That's not a bad like.
It's a good quarterback room. Wow, that's a good quarterback room.
That's a bunch of goddamn misfits at this point.
They need to record that. They have to release some videos of that quarterback room. That would be electric.
I mean, if not, you're talking about Deshaun Watson, who ain't playing, Tyrod Taylor, and Cam Newton.
Cam Newton doesn't need to be in Houston. What they're building down here is just a weak New England wannabe. He doesn't need to be down here again. Let him loose. Let him enjoy his last few years having fun. And he would have a lot better time in Washington than Houston.
I agree, but how is he going to get? I don't know how he gets there.
So Washington?
I just feel like if they go that route, that's kind of like admitting defeat already. That like we're gonna bring in Cam Newton. I just hate that like Cam Newton has such a dominating presence that he's almost He's being dinged for it. Like
I think that's why they dropped him.
That is. It's because he's such a dominant alpha male. But
as long as he's on the team, there's going to be Cam Newton players. Like, there are going to be players riding for Cam Newton. And you just can't do that if you're trying to go forward with Mac Jones. And it's probably the right move. But I just feel bad for my boy, man. They got him. They did this to him on purpose. We called it last week on the pod.
You were spot on, my dude.
He followed the rules. He did everything he was supposed to do as a non-vaccinated person. And then he got burned because a team-approved location for him to get tested at wasn't a league approved. Ugh, it's fine. Cam.
All right.
Love. You'll find something great for you. All right. So you went Antonio Gibson, who is a great pick. And I'm just going to stay consistent with what I've been saying all offseason. And I think Clyde Edwards-Helaire is going to be the breakout player in the NFL this year, just based on how the Chiefs are building their offense with their new offensive line, which has gained so much in size and so much in strength and ability to just push the line of scrimmage. You can see that they're going to make it an emphasis that a running game is going to be a part of their arsenal this year. And the way that Andy Reid likes to throttle down once he gets ahead, he just doesn't consistently put his foot on the pedal, which is annoying as a fan. But as they're growing this offense, you can tell that they're going to utilize the running game much more. And the fact that he got drafted in the first round last year, and a big reason for that was his receiving ability out of the backfield and being able to be that Brian Westbrook presence. That wasn't really utilized last year. So that means that's a whole other part that hasn't even been unlocked yet of his game and fantasy production. So I'm expecting big things for Clyde this year. And it's going to be a fun ride. So invest all you can. Especially if it's at the end of the second.
Last year. I told you, like, it hurts me because I got burned last year. I don't know what to do. I am struggling.
He fell right now, so that we could run this year because his price has dropped dramatically, and it's by the end of this season he won't be anywhere near there, or by next year he won't be in the second round.
We'll see.
And then this hurts me so bad. You have no idea. But if I'm going to do this the right way, I'm going to have to put Patrick Mahomes on my dislike for the second round. Just because you need key featured players at key feature positions in these first two rounds. I typically am going running back, unless like a Tyreek is dropping, but that hasn't happened in any of my drafts yet. I just really like to get that foundation down in the first two rounds, and quarterback is the deepest in terms of like starting options in all of the fantasy football. So I just personally don't invest in that position in the second round or higher. But once he drops the third round, it's on, brother. But yeah, for second round, he's my dislike, sadly, and it hurts. But that is what it is.
Yeah, I can't go there. I just really cannot. For somebody that I dislike, man, it's so hard because I think there's room for anybody on that list to be on my team. Mm-hmm. Joe Mixon scares me because Zach Taylor doesn't know how to run the goddamn ball and use Joe Mixon. And again, that one bit me last year too. So I'm scared of that one.
Joe Mixon.
DeAndre Hopkins, I am a little nervous about because I'm very nervous about Cliff Kingsbury. Like, we still haven't seen this super electrifying, potent, like high-powered offense that we'd hoped to see. And now you're adding more bodies to that wide receiving with A.J. Green. Are they going to get on track? I just don't know if DeAndre Hopkins and Kyler Murray are ever going to get on track like Deshaun Watson and DeAndre Hopkins got on track. And I like Kyler Murray. I just don't like that offense. It doesn't seem like it actually works.
Gotcha. Do you like Hopkins or Ridley more?
I still
is he? Yeah.
I know that's so hard. Like, you're talking about at pick 203 or 203.
More so just wide receiver 4.
You hear that? I'm going to say I would probably still go DeAndre Hopkins over Calvin Ridley. I'm going to say I don't like Joe Mixon in the second. I like Joe Mixon in the third and like later in the third, but I would take I'd take Josh Jacobs and I'd take probably Chris Carson before I take Joe Mixon this year. And Joe Mixon's talent is better, but I don't trust that offense I don't know why Joe Mixon hasn't had success in that offense. It's frustrating.
Gotcha. No, I think you're valid. I think your concerns are valid. Offensive lines, at best. Quarterbacks coming back from a significant knee injury.
If they had a stud defense,
I don't want a part of it.
If they had some stud defense, I think that'd be a different story.
Sure.
But, where they could run the ball, play defense, and protect their quarterback. But no, they have some wide open offense with a ton of wide receivers. More wide receivers than they still know what to do with, even without AJ Green on the field. And I mean, it's going to be much more of the same. You didn't protect your quarterback, and you went and got another wide receiver. So I don't think they're going to be running the ball. And the third.
This me again.
Who do you love?
In this round, this is the round I get my wide receiver typically. I'm just picking one of the best of the pack because I really like this pack here of McLaurin, Allen, Robinson, and Lamb. Typically is where I'm going. But out of all these guys, the one I'm really liking this year, I got to go with Keenan Allen, man. Like, as long as he's healthy, he's a top 3 wide receiver. He's everything Michael Thomas was a few years ago in terms of, I think they're going to be a high-passing offense. I think he's their clear number 1 target, and he gets open and he catches well. I think as long as he stays healthy, he's going to get the ball, and he's going to do things with it. And he's got a better quarterback than any of these other guys, and the situation itself seems to be a more sustainable with how their offensive line has been retooled. I'm a big fan of Keenan Allen this year.
All right, I'm right there with you. If I had one, that was the top of my list on this love. If I'm going,
good snipe.
I do think even if Justin Herbert has a drop off, Keenan Allen's still going to be. I think Keenan Allen still is going to thrive in a drop off, or if he comes back down to earth. But
if he's healthy, he's balling.
They're going to be throwing the ball, even with Austin Eckler there. He's going to be catching the ball out of the backfield. They're going to be throwing the ball a lot. Herbert's going to have 35, 40, 50 throws a game in a loss.
Yeah.
They're going to be slinging it, and he is the clear-cut number 1. And the number 2 receiver can never stay healthy. Mike Williams is always banged up. So is Keenan Allen, though. Well, it's kind of a flip-flop. It's it seems like it's every other year with him. If I have somebody that I love there, I think I would want to talk about both the tight ends, Waller and Kittle. Obviously, Kelsey is way too rich for my blood in the first. But if you can get George Kittle or Darren Waller, and they're going to put up wide receiver 1 numbers anyways, then why wouldn't you take them? If they're going to put up more, I almost guarantee you that Kittle or Waller is going to put up more numbers than the receivers drafted ahead of them. So why wouldn't you just take them instead? So I'm in that sense of as soon as we get down to 4 and 5, there's so many good groups of wide receivers there too, especially if you have picks that you're going to be flipping. Right now we technically had pick 5 or pick 6 or whatever it was, but it really didn't matter. Those weren't our actual picks. So if you can get on the turn and go get 2 running backs and a tight end, I highly recommend it. And if you can get either of those tight ends to the back end of the third, it's a steal. It's probably going to be the steal of the draft this year. So those 2 tight ends are going to put up wide receiver 1 numbers. Take them and then take swings at the rest of the wide receivers in the back.
I'm personally, if I'm going to tight end in the first 3 rounds, I'm making sure I just get a running back, a wide receiver, and a tight end. I'm just making sure everything's at least accounted for.
Yeah.
You can double down. I definitely wouldn't go wide receiver, tight end.
No.
But yeah, I'm definitely behind running back, tight end, or some variation of that if you go Travis Kelce.
But yeah, I'm just saying, look at after again,
Yeah,
depending on where your turn is, you could get lucky and land one of these guys, land a one of those guys in the third.
Mm-hmm.
Look at the wide receivers you have in the fourth. Say maybe a Mike Evans slips into the fourth, or a Tyler Lockett, or a Cooper Kupp, Adam Thielen, Julio Jones, Chris Godwin, Amari Cooper, Robert Woods. Like, those guys are all going to be borderline wide receiver 1. I still think Adam Thielen's a top 10, top 15 at worst wide receiver.
Don't leak your pick.
We'll
go.
There.
You're
We'll
going first
there.
next round.
We'll
Never mind.
Who do you not hate?
Me?
Or is it?
This one's just glaring to me, and I know it's going to hurt you, but I am not touching Josh Jacobs, especially in the 3rd round. I don't have faith in his ability to sustain a 17-game season. I don't think he has any value in the passing game, especially with Kenyon Drake in there now. And I think Kenyon Drake is there to take some reps away, take some touches off this plate. Like, they need to make sure his tires last as long as they can. And I think it's not going to be a 3rd round worthy fantasy player. I'd personally not get him till the 5th, but I know that's why I don't have any Josh Jacobs shares, because he's taken before that. But that's just where I personally value him this year. I know he's your boy.
I do. I like him. I mean, I am right there with you in terms of availability, but he's still back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons, and he hasn't even played a full season. I mean, if you're getting the production while he's there in 13, like, you're getting like a full season's worth of production in only 13 games, 14 games, 15 games. That's what he's played, 13 and 15. Well, holy shit! Like, you're still gonna win some games off of that. So yeah, it's kind of a risky pick, and I don't like taking many risks. But once you get into the 3rd, 4th, 5th round, you have to start swinging for the fences if you're going to have any chance of winning your league. Like, you can't play it safe picks 1 through 15.
Yeah, no, that's fair. And yeah, I could see the why you'd want him. Me personally, though, I'm just not. I'd rather get one of these stud wide receivers here, or even take a swing. I'm not taking a run.
That's why he's not going to be on my love list. It's going to be, again, any of the tight ends or the wide receivers. I left him out. Gotcha. So in terms of my hate, I am going to bring up CeeDee Lamb. I do not know why. And I think CeeDee Lamb is so good. He is good. And he was a boss, and I really enjoyed his I enjoy his personality and like how competitive he is. But I know Amari Cooper's hurt. I know that man is fragile. But do you not see, like, Amari Cooper is still going to be the number 1 receiver in that offense? I firmly believe that. I know he's wearing 88. I know what all that crap means. But somebody's getting paid $20 million a year right now, and somebody is not. And Amari Cooper creates more yards or separation per route than like over the last 5 years, I know, than like anybody else. Like, it's on par with Diggs. That is one of the few knocks on CeeDee Lamb, is that he is this amazing possession receiver, great hands, incredible catch radius.
He's an alien.
But he is not the greatest of route runners. He does not create separation. So who are you going to throw to? The guy who is open. That is going to be Amari Cooper. That is why Amari Cooper should still be the number 1, the top drafted wide receiver in amongst the Dallas Cowboys.
If you're going to put $100 on it, who ends the year with more targets, Lamb or Cooper?
I would say Cooper.
With everything
considered. I would not bet on Amari Cooper's health.
Okay.
So I'm probably staying away from both of them. But if Amari Cooper
specifically
is falling
targets,
that far,
you would say Cooper.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's like that. You have the same thing with them as you have with the Bucks. Like, which one are you gonna pick? And then roll of the dice, which one's gonna have a crazy day? I'm sure multiple. Like, it's probably, that's what the thing is, like with the Bucks or with because you still have Michael Gallup too. Like with the Bucks or the Cowboys. Pick your poison, because probably 2 of the 3 of them are going to get touchdowns or get fantasy-worthy points, but not all 3 every game.
Yep, I agree.
But the Bucks are putting up 30 points a game this year, so get used to it.
Welcome to the club.
Yeah. Fuck you.
Next round. You got the first one,
good.
right?
That was good. That was good.
Thank you.
All right. So I got my hate on there, and then so now I'm jumping back to the love.
Fourth round.
Fourth round. Who do you love? I'm going. Damn, you got Chase Edmonds. Oh, okay, the other way. So it goes Henderson, DJ Moore, Deontay Johnson, Kyle Pitts, Jamar. No. I'm one up. Okay, sorry. It goes Sanders, Woods, Cooper, Godwin. Right? That's the one we're on. Okay. James Robinson, Josh Allen, Julio Jones, Adam Thielen, Lamar Jackson, TJ Hockenson, Cooper Kupp, Tyler Lockett. On that one, especially with Tyler Lockett and Cooper Kupp being right at the very back end of that one, I am definitely going to say Tyler Lockett. I think Tyler Lockett could easily still be the number one in this group. I think at the back end at pick, that pick 48 is that what that would be? I do really like Tyler Lockett. There's another guy on this list, especially due to a recent injury, that I would love to, but I think I'll leave that low-hanging fruit for you unless you're going to steer me wrong.
It is tempting. It really is. I do want to go Robinson just because, as you said, it is low-hanging fruit and you're getting an RB1 in the fourth round. Yeah, I guess I'll go Robinson. I mean, just because you know what you're getting there. Or maybe you don't with Urban Meyer's new wacky tactics. And also, I want to kind of backtrack where I was going with it. I believe it was last pod. I was riding for Urban Meyer. I had faith in his offensive acumen. You know, I think he's going to really make something out of that team in terms of just creativity and using the chess pieces he has. Mm-hmm. I'm going to be I'm cooling off on the dude. It's starting to become college Urban Meyer, whereas I thought he would have kind of been a little bit more situationally aware and known how to treat adult men. But the more that comes out, the more it just, I could see some health concerns popping up within this season, if not a season and a half. That pesky heart issues, man. They sure do come at times for his professional career. But it's gonna happen. Anyway,
I just happened to figure it was gonna be a little harder to go from college to pro than we all expected. Or than a lot of people expected.
I just thought I assumed I had more faith in him than I should have in terms of he would kind of change and adapt to this new level that he's been trying to reach for so many years. But yeah, I'm not in the front row of the circus anymore. I'm a little bit closer to the exit, but I'm still gonna enjoy the show. I
just got some news about the Bucs signing. Oh yeah, the Bucs just picked up Darwin Thompson.
You go through.
We put him on. We threw him on our practice squad right now. I just got that update.
Fine.
The Bears are signing Rashad Perriman.
You fuckers.
Jets picked up Josh Johnson. All right, yeah, we got.
We got bird dudes. We got something to do.
All right. So you got James Robinson then?
Yeah, I like James Robinson. I just at this price, I dislike Chris Godwin. I just think that there's going to be. I think everybody's going to eat in there, but I just think he's too far down the pecking order this next upcoming season.
Nope, I think he's the number one. He's the best wide receiver in the Bucs wide receiving room. I'm saying it right now. I think he is the best value. I think he's the best pick amongst all three wide receivers. Did you not see those two seam routes? Did you not see the 9 route? We called it. The Matrix called it. We predicted this shit. I predict these things.
That's what we do.
But I would say any of those, that's like wide receiver heaven right there. That is the wide receiver sweet spot. Wait till that round. What is that, round 4? Round 4. Don't take your wide receiver until round 3 and 4. I'm telling you. Adam Thielen's going to be legit this year. I'm not taking Julio Jones. He scares me. I don't know what you're going to get out of that. I think you're going to get more A.J. Brown production with Julio Jones being there than you're going to get Julio Jones production. But what do I know? I'm not taking Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson. So my hate right there is probably going to be... Oh, man. I don't know, man. I think Miles Sanders, that's so hard. Maybe, I guess Amari Cooper is still going to be my hate on that list.
Oh, wow. You just can't help but hating Cowboys. But that's fine. I have no
I made that point earlier, though. I don't want anything to do with any of them. But if I have to take one, I'm taking Cooper over CeeDee Lamb. Okay. At their ADP. Again, all of this is based on at ADP.
Yeah.
So, who's your hate?
Got one.
Oh, that's who you chose. Man.
Sorry.
All right.
I just liked all those receivers more.
Next round, who do you love? I wish we would have had that. We should have had that audio clipped in.
Who do you love? Man, these are certainly some fun options here in round 5. But I'm a running back guy at heart. I can't help it. I got to go with Kareem Hunt in the 5th. I think every week he's a flex option at minimum. They keep him involved even though Chubb is their RB1 for the most part. I won't even say RB1. It's RBA and RBB. They kind of divvy it up based on the matchups at hand. But if anything does happen to Nick Chubb, the dude's a first-round running back. Or Kareem Hunt's a first-round running back. So I get him for his floor and I get him for his ceiling, especially in round 5. Kareem Hunt's my light pick.
I know I already talked about tight ends, but if you didn't go get the top 3 tight ends, then I do really like Mark Andrews right there.
Yeah.
You've got Henderson, DJ Moore, Johnson, Pitts, Jamar Chase, Mike Davis, Andrews, Hunt, Ayuk, Gaskins, Claypool, Chase Edmonds. I would say I really like Claypool. I really like Mark Andrews. Daryl Henderson's already banged up. Shout out to Rob for giving us that information. We didn't drop it last pod. But yes, he's already been banged up. You now have Sony Michel in there. So I think that drops his stock a little bit more. There's some guys, to be honest, there's some guys I'm probably going for that are in the 6th round. My big board probably looks a lot different than what it is right here. So there's guys below the players right here that I'd probably draft. If I have to draft one of these guys, Brandon Ayuk, it's just not it's not a pass-happy offense. It worries me. It's going to be either Andrews or Claypool.
Okay. I definitely like Andrews. I mean, he's likely going to be the number 1 passing option in that, or receiving option in that offense this year. I'm a fan of Andrews. Always have been since Oklahoma days. All right. Dislike. We doing dislikes?
Who did you like?
I like Kareem Hunt.
Oh yeah, Kareem Hunt. I'm sorry, I'm losing my train.
You're good. I got it.
It's all blurred. So many players.
Isn't it beautiful? Dislike. You already touched on him. I'm gonna go Daryl Henderson. He's gotten his chances at being the sole guy before. He did fine at it, but McVay went straight to Akers when Akers was ready. He's a replaceable running back. He's a committee running back. And I can't pay for that in the 5th round, especially now that they've brought in Sony Michel, who's, again, another committee back, but that just means we're dealing with a committee here. And I wouldn't pay for that in the 5th. I'd wait till Henderson, probably till the 7th or 8th, personally.
He's at best.
Even then. Ugh.
At best, a change of pace guy.
Yeah.
At best.
Yeah. You just like
Myles Gaskins. It's just a boring pick.
Oh. Okay.
He hasn't done shit either.
I've had some shares of Myles Gaskins. All he does is shit. I mean, it's not a lot. He's not.
It's not a sexy pick. He's not gonna win you a league. He's a decent
RB2 at this point.
He's a decent. Yeah, I think he's gonna be decent, but I don't know if he's ever gonna go off and have big games. He's a steady, safe pick.
Mm-hmm.
And there's not much options there in terms of running backs, but are they going to run the ball more this year with Tua? What's that going to look like?
He catches. He's a receiver too, though.
Yeah. But I mean,
But how
yeah,
much does Waddle take from him, and how much more does Tua go downfield? Okay. I wouldn't take him. I'd take him over Davis personally. Are you more of a Mike Davis fan?
I think Mike Davis, when he's healthy, I think Mike Davis is not going to stay healthy. That's some bad
I agree.
juju to put on somebody. I
Yeah,
just
I
have
don't
this.
like doing that.
You've
But
never
yeah.
been a full-time running back a day in your life. Like, and when you've come in,
Well,
you've been pretty damn good. Like, he's had fantasy relevant performances. He's had 20-point performances, a lot. Like, he's a double digit. Like, when he's the starting guy, he's double digits pretty damn well. Not now. No, thank you. I don't want anything to do with it. I think he'll be good for a little bit, and that's gonna be at best. Like, he's like Melvin Gordon. Like, when you can get him going, it's gonna be pretty, and then you won't have him for the whole season. So that's
Okay.
the way I see. That's gonna be a part-time. That's gonna be a part-time position to fill. You'll eventually have to. There's running backs in this next round. The one running back in this next round, I'd take over all the running backs, and
Is
not
that
name.
you picking first?
Sure. Gus
Yeah.
Edwards.
Go
I
ahead.
fucking love Gus Edwards now. Should J.K. Dobbins being down, one of the most run-heavy teams in the NFL, Bruiser, who's worked his way up the league, or worked his way, like, basically solidified himself a spot even after he got in some trouble. Like, he's basically been the guy who's stuck around with Mark Ingram gone, now with J.K. gone. Like, he's gonna be the workhorse bell cow for them. And there's really, I mean, who's behind him right now in that running back room? Do they give the Texans a call? Be like, hey, come
I
on back,
picked him
Mark
up. I
Ingram.
picked him up in 2 leagues. Tyron Williams, I believe, is the backup now,
Yeah.
and someone to watch out for. But we'll get to him later. Okay, no, Gus Edwards, good choice. That was my choice, you bastard.
Gotta get you
I
back.
for players in this round, this seems to just be the quarterback round for me personally. Like, in all the drafts I'm doing, this is like, okay, I get my guy here, because typically it is this little group that it is, and it's Herbert, Rodgers, Wilson, or Prescott. I think all of them are, you're sliding in a top 6 quarterback. It's just really, who do you think has the biggest ceiling, or just who do you want to ride with this year? And it's hard to bet against Rodgers, man. It's hard to bet against Rodgers and how he's just carrying himself right now. He's loose as ever. He's like ending off practices with 40-yard bucket drops. Like, he's playing right now. He's just having fun. It's his last dance. He's going to go out with a bang, I think. And if he doesn't, he'll just do what he did last year, which was an MVP season. So I feel pretty confident that Rodgers ends up as top 3 guy again, just because he's gonna be putting on a show. So that is who I like for this round, since you took Gus Edwards from me. As far as dislike, 6th round, yeah. Out of all these guys, I just can't get behind Kenny Gallaudet. I've never been a Gallaudet fan, so, I mean, we can ride with that. But injury concerns have already become a thing. I don't have faith in his ability to stay through a whole year. And I really don't have any faith in Daniel Jones being a capable quarterback that can get him the ball consistently and use full places. So I think it's going to be a more short game heavy team this year, just because Daniel Jones isn't capable of being that fireworks provider.
I think as trash as Daniel Jones is, Kenny Galladay is still, when healthy or while healthy, will still be a beast. I think so.
A beast.
I think he's gonna command. I mean,
how many healthy Kenny Galladay games do you feel comfortable having or projecting?
12.
12. Okay.
12. But I don't know. I think he could have a full season. You never know. I'm gonna say T. Higgins. I think Jamar Chase. I know he's had these drop issues, but I really want to say Jamar Chase is gonna be the clear-cut number 1, and T. Higgins is going to have mediocre fantasy relevance. Like, I would rather take any of the wide receivers or the tight ends right there. I think maybe like Noah Fant and T. Higgins I'd put on that list, because you've got Gus, Herbert, Rodgers, Anderson, Beckham, Wilson, Gallaudet, Prescott, Fant, Higgins, Thomas, Michael Thomas, and Dallas Goedert. I still think that Michael Thomas if he stays on New Orleans, and I think that is going to be the most likely scenario. I do. I think that nobody's going to trade for him right now. Nobody's going to try and pick up that tab. I think Jameis Winston legit is going to have a potent offense with New Orleans. It's going to give the ball up. I think Jameis still going to be Jameis. The only reason why he threw 2 touchdowns and no interceptions is because he didn't play a fucking full game. So give him more opportunities, and trust me, he'll turn the goddamn ball over. I guarantee it. But I think it's going to be legit. So if and when Michael Thomas comes back into that offense, you have a number 1 wide receiving option. I truly believe that with Jameis. I don't believe that with Taysom Hill. But if Jameis is back there, I think he's going to be slinging that fucking thing. Sorry.
Okay. Is that wait?
I get upset. I actually get upset about it because I'm like, God damn it, Jameis might shred us up one game.
He's coming, man. He's gonna come with it.
I'm
he
nervous
can see
about
now.
that. There'll be a pick 6 in there, I guarantee it. But
he'll come back with something.
Yeah, I'm sure he will. All right.
7th round. It's me, right? So we got Tom Brady, Jerry Jeudy, Cortland Sutton, Damian Harris, Devontae Smith, Juju Smith-Schuster, Javonte Williams, Tyler Boyd, Antonio Brown, Mike Williams, Matthew Stafford, and Ryan Tannehill. Out of all these guys, if I had to feel comfortable saying which one's going to be a breakout candidate, I got to ride with my boy Jerry Jeudy. I don't like the team he plays for, but I like the game he plays, and he just gets open. He gets open consistently. Even last year, he didn't have a very strong statistical rookie season, but if you're watching the games, it wasn't because Jeudy wasn't getting separation. The man gets open. He's young Marvin Harrison in the terms of his route running. I'm a big fan of his game. He's already tearing it up in preseason and just overall camps. I'm riding with Jerry Jeudy anytime I can get shares of him.
I'm right there with you. That would be who I'd go with. I would say definitely if you haven't got a quarterback yet and your team's looking solid, Brady is right on par with, I think, Wilson.
Brady's an MVP candidate this year.
I agree. I think just him being comfortable. He had, he put up 40 touchdowns this year. I think it's not bad.
If we're doing, we could save it for the projections, but I think Brady and Mahomes are going to be doing a show this year, in terms of touchdowns. It's going to be a home run race.
I'm not a fan of Juju, the TikTok star, but I do think he's going to have a bounce back year big time. And so I would say Juju going as the number 2 wide receiver in that offense. I think he's going to be the number 1. I don't think it will be or I guess he's the number 3 wide receiver being drafted in that offense. I think he will definitely be the number 2, if not possibly the number 1 when it's all said and done. In terms of yard, I think he'll at least be in yards and catches. I think he might be. They're paying him to be the number 1 guy there. I think Johnson is more so a gadget guy. I don't see, but I think Claypool's going to get the touchdowns and Juju's going to get the yards and the catches. That's my personal opinion. But I would not be surprised if Javonte Williams is murdering it down in Denver towards the end of the season.
We'll see.
Have you seen him run the ball? People bounce off him differently.
I'm more impressed with his pass blocking, honestly. The dude's money already. He's already one of the better pass blockers at position in the league, and we haven't even started week 1 yet.
He's solid. So solid.
Only thing I really have to say about Juju is he nailed the milk crate challenge. That was pretty impressive. So I won't put him completely on my dislike list.
That is such a stupid thing to be doing. Hey, you see how many people have broken their bones?
Absolutely infuriating if I'm a fan.
Oh my God. Yeah, I can't. I would not want him on my team. That's why I don't like Juju. I don't like Juju because he does not take a kid. He does not care about football as much as I do. It feels like it. Other things are more important.
I digress. I'm putting Juju on my this.
But the talent, bro.
The talent. To keep this moving. I get it, but I like Claypool more. I think he's more of a down. I think at this point in Ben's career, he's more of a just let it sling, that Will Ferrell style of ball that we like. But I think that plays more to Claypool's strengths. And if he is looking for someone to get open, I think Deontay Johnson's just better at getting open at this point. I think he's a better route runner.
Yeah.
And Juju's just on his way out. And, I mean, like you just said, like, it would infuriate me to have that as one of my team's players. And I don't know. I just vibe with the other two options more than what Juju's putting out there, especially in this round.
All right, I'm going to keep it simple in terms of the hate. Tyler Boyd. I mean, I'm just going to stick with anybody not named Jamar Chase, like on the Bengals. I'm not a fan of this year. So Jamar Chase, I think, is going to be solid number one. I think Tyler Boyd is going to be way back there. If one of them gets hurt, he'll be a solid flex to wide receiver 2 option, like he always has been. Like he's always a good second fiddle. But he's always a bride, never a bridesmaid, or always a bridesmaid, never a bride.
I don't think that offensive line is good enough to produce 3,000-yard receivers like everyone's projecting or mentioning, or even like 900 yards. Like it's an interesting situation in Cincinnati that I personally don't want to touch.
Right here, on the love for this one, I'm not gonna lie. I'm probably taking Raheem Mostert. Probably 2 rounds earlier than this. He's probably right there with Gus Edwards. I think I'd take Raheem Mostert over Gus Edwards. I'm not going to lie. Because if he is the RB1 and the focal point of that offense, he's a top 10, top 15 running back in the NFL. That is the number 1 running offense. So wouldn't you want the number 1 running back and the number 1 running offense?
I agree. I mean, as long as he's healthy, you're playing him.
Yeah. So I'm taking that swing. And you're talking about you have Mostert. It goes Mostert, then Sermon, which is funny. And then Marvin Jones, Brandon Cooks, Debo Samuels, DJ Chark, Corey Davis, Melvin Gordon, Rams defense, Will Fuller, Ronald Jones, Curtis Samuel. Give me Raheem Mostert over all of those 10 times on Sunday.
I feel you. I'm just nervous about what they plan on doing with Trey Sherman. And yeah, it is interesting that they go back to back here, which means people are starting to believe that Sermon's going to be the guy this year. And I can't necessarily disagree. I mean, by like week 13, I think we're going to see more Sermon than Mostert, whether it happens to be by just natural progression of him up the depth chart or Mostert gets a little bit more banged up and Sermon just does some things with the chances he gets. But I'll stay away from that for now. My like for this round, I'm going to go with Brandon Cooks, man. He's had historical success. He's done it before. He's been a number 1 before, and he's succeeded in that role. And mostly, there's just nobody else in the offense that can do anything. Like, I'm in Houston, and I'm excited to see the first like season tickets promo because I don't know who they're going to choose to put on like the key players. Like, who is the most marketable player right now on the team? Not much to choose from, but in terms of offense, they have a 3-headed. I refuse to call it a monster in the backfield, but it is a 300 committee, a 3-headed committee, and in the offensive game, depending on how you feel about Nico Collins, he might turn to something one day. But for now, I'm going to ride with their clear number 1, and I'm going to go with Brandon Cooks in that round. Dislike. I refuse to choose a defense in the single digits, and for that reason, the Los Angeles Rams will. Yeah, they're my dislike. I will not be choosing.
Especially because, like, if you're picking a defense, I would be taking the Bucs or the Steelers before I'm taking the Rams defense.
And guess what? They're available in not round 8.
I'm not taking Melvin Gordon. How many times do you have to know and learn that lesson? Don't take Melvin Gordon. He's not even the best running back on his team anymore. He hasn't been the best running back on his team for years, like going all the way back to San Diego, LA. Like,
do you think he gets traded?
I think he gets cut.
Oh, he won't get cut. He has been cut. Okay. Neither one of us.
I think they owe him. They've paid him too much probably already. They have to keep him. It's probably cost efficient to keep him. But I don't know. I'm sure there's teams like the Ravens. I mean, I don't know why you would trade it to somebody. You've
already seen Etienne and Dobbins go down. I mean, it's going to be a long season. Like, you're going to need more than one running back.
There's going to be a lot of shuffling going around because there's a few teams that have stacked wide receiver rooms, stacked running back rooms. Like,
Honestly, the Pats need to go ahead and go after him. But anyways, we don't have to go after that right now.
The Patriots?
Yeah.
Why? They're killing it on the run game.
He's a perfect Patriots run. I just see him as a perfect Patriots running back.
They don't need any more retired players or soon to be retired players. Melvin Gordon's done.
I think he's got juice. I think Melvin Gordon's got juice left in him. I don't think he can do it for a full
watch
season,
when. Hey,
he's a committee guy.
Call me. I want you to call me the first time you see Javonte Williams truck the fuck out of somebody this year, and then you're gonna be like, yep, you're right. Yep, never mind. Yep, bye, Gordon. Bye. Have a good day. In the next rounds, who do you love?
I love in this round. It's Zach Moss, Pittsburgh defense, Michael Pittman, Leonard Fournette, Jarvis Landry, Laviska Shenault, Jalen Waddle, Michael Gallup, Michael Carter, James Conner, A.J. Dillon, and David Johnson. I'm gonna go with Shenault, man. Even though I walked back a little bit on Urban earlier, I still think Chenault's an absolute chess piece, and that's what Urban builds his whole scheme around, is just having that kind of gadget player that does a whole bunch of things in the offense and gets the ball and does stuff with it. And I thought Etienne was definitely going to be sharing quite a bit of that role, but now it seems to all be Shenault, and he had a good game last week. It seems like they're definitely figuring out ways to utilize him. So in this round, I'm going to go with Shenault for sure.
Moss, Steelers defense, Pittman, Leonard Fournette, Jarvis Landry, Laviska Shenault, Jalen Waddle, Michael Gallup, Michael Carter, James Conner, A.J. Dillon, David Johnson. Out of all of those people, I love Leonard Fournette because he's on my team, but then you still have the Ronald Jones and the whole committee, so that scares me. I think eventually, again, he will solidify himself as the number one guy. But you see Ronald Jones, like even this preseason, hit one of those breakout runs, and you're like, I don't know if Leonard Fournette's got that kind of juice, to make that one cut go that Jones does. He's just a different style running back, and he may have still got to the end zone on that play, but that's why it's so tricky to take anybody in the Bucs offense right now. If I'm going anybody, I'm probably going Michael Carter because he's got the clear-cut number one role as the running back in any of these teams, and it's a rookie running back, so you think they're going to be run heavy. It's Robert Saleh. He's coming from San Francisco where they ran the ball. He's a defensive-minded coach. I think Michael Carter is going to has out of any of those players that I just listed, has a chance to be a top 20 at their position.
Okay, you're a big UNC guy last year, it sounds like.
No, I love Javonte Williams way more than I like Michael Carter, but again, I like anybody who has the ability to be the number one in their offense. And I look through all of that. I see Jarvis Landry, I see Leonard Fournette, and I see Michael Carter as being kind of like the only ones. Maybe Jalen Waddle, but rookie year, I'm nervous about rookie wide receivers.
I will say, last I saw, Michael Carter was third on the depth chart in New York. I'm sure it'll change as the year goes on, but I'm personally gonna not be there. So, you go dislike first, or do I go to dislike?
Don't matter.
Okay. Then yes, please let me go. I definitely dislike David Johnson here. I just kind of touched on him with Brandon Cooks, but. Gross. He has deteriorated from where he used to be as a running back. He was fine last year. Like, he was going around 4 yards per carry. So, I mean, I guess serviceable is a fine word for it. But he's currently being listed as a third on the depth chart. And I just go back to when Bill O'Brien traded for him. And I remember it being like, Bill O'Brien is the last person who believes in David Johnson at that point, and he dedicated the offense around him so that they could use him, and it just wasn't the same. And it's sad to see running backs not do what we are used to seeing them do, but he is no longer that.
David Johnson is one of the saddest sports stories ever. Sad. He looks so monstrous for
He's
2
still going.
years. Not even 2 years. It was a year and a half. Maybe one whole
nasty.
Calendar year. He was nasty as you know what. Now it's just damn.
That's my dislike. Who you dislike?
I don't like taking handcuffed running backs this early, and AJ Dillon is nothing but a handcuff.
Yeah.
Could be a beast. I mean, he's that big boy. The big boy's got some
I'm still getting shares in them, but yeah,
thunder thighs.
It's hard to get him there.
Not somebody I'm gonna take that early, because if you're taking him, you're guaranteeing like the only reason why you take him is to either piss off the person who drafted Aaron Jones,
or leverage it to trade.
You are the one who drafted Aaron Jones, and so I just don't think, again, in single digits, it's not smart to be thinking backup plans when you could still be looking for starters.
I'm down with that. Cool. You're up next.
Love in terms of this next
10.
round, we've got, it starts off with the 10th round. You got Kenyon Drake, McCall Hardman, Jonnu Smith, Daryl Mooney, Logan Thomas, Bucks defense, damn right, Devontae Parker, Marquise Brown, Sony Michel, James White, Marquise Callaway, and Elijah Moore. Believe it or not, dude, you know what the most enticing pick out of all of this is? The number one receiver for the New Orleans Saints and the pass-happy Jameis Winston. They connected on 2 bombs, and both of those were nice throws, but even way better catches. They were contested. He was like, I mean, they could have both even been PIs. Like, I really like me some Marquise Callaway, especially if Michael Thomas doesn't come back, or especially if you draft Michael Thomas, then definitely go get that, because that's not necessarily handcuffing. Like, they could still be relevant as wide receivers in the same offense, but he's the only one that's going to be catching balls, I think, out there. I mean, they really don't have, what is it, Traquan Smith?
Yeah, Traquan Smith, him, and honestly a bunch of other guys. But yeah, the runway is being cleared for him to be the guy for sure.
That one is one of those like super flyer picks that I'm going to be like giddy about. Like if I pick them
excited
up
about
late, because I think especially if my league is going to be too like my hometown league, my friends, they'll be too. They're not going to pay attention to him. It's Jameis Winston throwing the ball. They'll be like, no, we don't want that. So I think that's going to be my sneaky pick, super sneaky.
Like, why would you go Gallaudet over him at this point? There's less options. There's less options. You know what I mean?
I don't know. Again, like I'm probably going Juju over Gallaudet. I'm going Antonio Brown over Gallaudet or Judy.
Just prices, but I'm talking like situation and like what, I don't know. No one's picking Callaway over Gallaudet, but in terms of just like what they bring to the table, it's now dawning on me like, why wouldn't I? But anyways,
he's going to be way up on my board, but I'm not going to draft him way high. I'm going to try and get him as far down the board as humanly possible. Play the board right. If you don't get him, oh well, but don't take a swing on a player just so you could say you took the swing on him.
Yeah, you want to steal him. You don't want to reach for him.
Yeah. All right.
I like in this round, I'm going to go with Darnell Mooney, man. I think Andy Dalton is the guy for like 1.5 more weeks. And then Fields will eventually come into the game, and just the deep ball capabilities that he has compared to Dalton are just a completely different situation in terms of quarterback. And Mooney's nice. I watched a little bit of him last year. I didn't own him in any league, so I want to make up for it this year. But the dude can ball, and he can get open. And I think a good quarterback like I think Justin Fields can become can turn him into a pretty solid fantasy contributor. Their offensive line does scare me though, but for now I'm going this round. I'm going Darnell Mooney.
Yeah, we're in a half PPR format right now. So with that being said, I'm probably not touching James White. Full PPR maybe.
Damn it.
Full PPR maybe, but no thank you. I don't want anything to do with James White. He's old. Past the prime. The Bucks didn't even want him, so that's got to say something. We took Gio over him when they could have got him. So I'm going to trust in my head coach and say James White is no longer worthy of fantasy relevancy. And it's such a crowded backfield, like you said earlier. It's low-hanging fruit. Parker could still be something. Marquise Brown could still be something. Logan Thomas could still be good. Smith, McCall Hardman, Kenyon Drake, all of those guys are going to have like flex-worthy play. Or late round tight end, options, but
Okay. Well, you took my pick. So I would say of who I dislike in the rest of this group, I'm fine. I'm like fine with any of these guys. So if I guess there's one I just don't like in this round, I'll go ahead and say Hollywood Brown, just because I don't have faith that he's gonna stay healthy
I don't.
week to week. But I don't dislike Marquise Brown, so that doesn't feel good. But
Yeah.
I'll go with Marquise Brown for the sake of this exercise.
Marquise, go for it.
Sorry, what's
Yeah, we gotta plow through this.
yeah,
I
11th
got
round. Tony Pollard, Devin Singletary, Traquan Smith, Tyrell Williams, Cole Beasley, Jamal Williams, Phillip Lindsay, Naheem Hines, Joe Burrow, J.D. McKissick, Alexander Madison, or Henry Ruggs. I am going with. I've been. I'll go Phillip Lindsay. I think he's the one guy out of that backfield who can turn this into a breakout season. I still like the offensive line that the Texans have, and I don't like who they have throwing the ball, so I think that they're going to be doing a lot of running of the ball. And if their roster construction makes any sense, it sounds like that's what it's going to be as well. So Phillip Lindsay's typically does good things when he gets the ball, and I think he's going to get a good amount of it. So in the 11th round, I'm definitely picking him up.
Yeah, I think Philip Lindsay is the only guy out of that group that's gonna have RB1, or he could be the RB1 in his backfield.
Yeah.
Devin Singletary, you could say the same thing. Tony Pollard, if Zeke goes down,
Yeah,
but
he
I
skyrockets.
really think even with the breakout explosion that I expect from Jonathan Taylor, I still think Naheem Hines is a third down pass catching back is going to be, especially in half point and PPR leagues, is going to be good. The who do I hate? I'm gonna have to go. Damn.
Yeah.
Probably Jamal Williams because that backfield is just ugly. That whole team is ugly. Detroit, I don't know. Tyrell Williams, Jamal Williams. You could pick one. I don't like them.
Okay. Yeah, it's hard to get excited about anything in Detroit besides T.J. Hawkinson, which I almost picked him earlier. In terms of players I don't like in this round, I just have no interest in J.D. McKissick personally. Like I said earlier, I think they're going to make Gibson more of a receiving threat, so that kind of takes away McKissick's value there. And I'm actually a pretty solid fan of Jarrett Patterson, who's their third running back now and showed out in the preseason. And there's some good words from him out of camp. So I'm not touching J.D. McKissick, especially in the 11th round personally. Round 12, who you got?
Round 12. All right, this is going to surprise you. So you got, you've got the first from front to back. You got Hurts, the Washington football team, Devontae Booker, Trevor Lawrence, Latavius Murray, Russell Gage, Robert Tonyan, Gronk, Marlon Mack, Ben, Jacoby Myers, and Rondale Moore. I am going to say I actually love Jalen Hurts. If you're going to take a quarterback that late, go get you some Jalen Hurts. Like, he's going to get those yards. But I also would say if you don't have a running back, Robert Tonyan or Gronk, like being one of the last guys to take it, those are the last four on this board, last four tight ends on this board, I think are going to be have fantasy relevancy this year.
I like them all.
So, yeah, I almost think either take them early or don't take them at all and pick them up with one of your last picks. But, yeah, so that's my love on that one right there.
Which one?
Jalen Hurts.
Oh, Hurts? Nice.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with Lawrence. I just think he's too good of a prospect, and Urban's just going to be throwing the hell out of it, and their defense is bad, so they're going to need to throw the hell out of it. He might lead the league in attempts, is what I'm saying. So with that comes fantasy points, and in the 12th round, I'm hooking up with some Trevor Lawrence stock, and the boy could run. So yeah, give me that.
Ooh, you guys hear that? That was a good one. All right.
People I don't like, Devontae Booker. I just, even if Saquon goes down, I'm not going to have fun starting him, so I just don't really want to touch him.
I would say on that one, unless he gets traded, I think Marlon Mack. Marlon Mack doesn't have much fantasy relevance.
He should get traded.
He should get traded. There's some. We just went over it. There's some running back needy teams, and he's kind of lost in translation right there, and so I think he has no fantasy. All right, who do you love on the next one? Where'd it go?
Boy. Trey Lance, Tevin Coleman, Ramondre Stevenson, Randall Cobb, Rashad Penny, Giovanni Bernard, Chuba Hubbard, Daryl Williams, Salvin Ahmed, Tyler Higbee, Brian Edwards, Tariq Cohen. I will take guy that I like in this round. I'll just go Trey Lance. I want to be a part of it. I think eventually it's going to really take off. I'm also confident in Jimmy G, like having somewhat of an Alex Smith season, but I think Kyle Shanahan isn't going to be able to resist his new little toy, and they're going to incorporate some Taysom Hill to their scheme and get him the ball in different ways, and eventually he just provides too much firepower over what Garoppolo does. So I want to be along for the ride, so I'll pick him late there.
1 second. I'm doing some late-minute research.
You're good. I'll go ahead and do my dislike because I know you definitely don't like them. And dislike for this round is going to be Daryl Williams. As a Chiefs fan, I know that there is not a worse play call you can make if you're Andy Reid than any play that has Daryl Williams getting the ball. Like every other option on this team or on this offense is a better, more productive play than getting the ball to Daryl Williams. And I like McKinnon. I think he's going to be the Damian Williams from a few years ago. Like he provides that same player profile, and he's a really good pass blocker. So yeah, give me McKinnon.
Yeah.
Or don't give me Williams.
I think this is going on a whim, and this is just because of like my scout's intuition tells me Rashad Penny is going to possibly have an actual year this year. And with Chris Carson never staying healthy, not one season. He had a 15-game season, but it was 4, then 14, then 15, then 12. I mean, last year it was a down year. Now you finally have Rashad Penny possibly coming in for an actual season, not being banged up. So if he stays healthy, he could possibly push for either a, committee role or even if Carson goes down, he's going to be the number one guy there. Every year we're scrambling for grabbing whatever Seattle Seahawk running back is going to be starting in those weeks that you don't have Chris Carson. They're always going to still be run heavy. I know they're going to let Russ cook or whatever the hell the saying is, but that's who I don't know if I love anybody at this spot, but I would go Penny or Stevenson as having the possibility to being relevant. Stevenson, if you've seen him running during this preseason, holy shit, that dude is like a bowling ball. Anybody I don't like, I'm probably going to go Tevin Coleman because Tevin Coleman can't do shit in fantasy over the last few years, and he's had every opportunity to do something, minus a few games. Him or Giovanni Bernard, because I don't think Bernard could definitely be that James White of the Bucs defense or the Bucs offense, but I just there's too many mouths to feed, and Leonard Fournette's a good running back coming out of the field too. Gio isn't the best pass blocker, so I like me some I don't like me some Gio.
I like his mustache, but yeah.
Me too. It's a grown man shit right there.
Next round.
All right. Yeah, I love me some Mike Gesicki in this next round. Plain and simple.
Yeah.
Mike Gesicki and the pick 6 of the 14th round, that is solid. That's how you draft right there. Because Mike Gesicki is going to be a beast this year.
Okay. I like Gesicki because he is sick. My like is Justin Tucker. Just because I think Butker the offense is going to be scoring too much. So he gets more extra points, but Tucker can kick it from 70, man, and he's just an absolute weapon. If your team still does kickers, stay strong, man. They're starting to fade away here. But I'll always ride for Justin Tucker. He's a weapon, absolute weapon. Yeah. Who do I dislike here? Saints. I don't see why the Saints are in that same category. I think that's just fantasy pros doing fantasy pros things. So I'm gonna make it easy on me and pick the Saints.
Yeah, if I have to pick somebody, I guess I'll pick. I mean, I could say Jason Sanders. I'll take Baker Mayfield. I don't want anything. if you're picking Baker Mayfield as your starting
I
quarterback,
think Baker's gonna have a nice year this year.
I think he's having a good year. But like, I mean, if that's who you're taking,
yeah, that's your fantasy quarterback.
that's your starter. No, maybe like if you're gonna pair him with like Jalen Hurts and Baker or something like that. Maybe I get that one, but
like if he has a good matchup on your starting quarterbacks bye week.
Yeah, but like that's a problem is you're facing the Steelers and the Ravens like twice a year.
Right.
Like they have rough schedules.
But he plays the Bengals twice a year too. So if one of those games falls on your QB1's bye week, I can see it.
But all right, who do I love on this last one? Oh man, I mean, who doesn't love Rodrigo Blankenship's glasses? But I'm gonna go this very last one. My pick is gonna be. I know he's gonna be out for a while. I'm still gonna go the New England Patriots defense. If Bill Belichick's calling plays on the defense or has any fingers or any involvement in the defense, they're gonna be sneaky good. Like they're always gonna be sneaky good. They have a bunch of bodies out there now. They have a bunch of returning stars. Yes, Gilmore's going to be out, but C.J. Jackson's just as good. Hot take.
I think so.
I'm going to say I always like the Patriots, but I know their division doesn't suck as much as it used to, so it doesn't help them. But I still think they're a top defense no matter what.
Okay. Dante Hightower coming back is going to be huge for them. If we're going to end this right, I can't do it without going with the Chiefs defense, man. I think they're going to be stupid. We're going 20-0 this year. That's the only way I can really end this. And it's going to be because of the improved pass rush. Jerron Reed coming in as an interior pass rusher is going to provide a good amount of sacks that we didn't have last year outside of Chris Jones. And now Chris Jones is playing defensive end more. Now he's splitting with defensive end, and he's crushing people all through this preseason. He's probably going to be runner-up to Defensive Player of the Year for Aaron Donald this year. I'm just calling that. Can't see D.
If I have somebody to not like, Matt Prater. Sure, why not? Matt Prater. Arizona kicker? Nope. Old, past his prime. Don't want him. Done.
Okay. And don't like. I'll take one of those kickers. You know what? I'll just say it. I don't like Blankenship's goggles. I think they're tacky. So that's my dislike.
All right. Well, I have a total of like 18 minutes to get cleaned up, get out of here, and take off and head to the brewery. So appreciate you guys all tuning into the Blitz Breakdown. We will post the actual screenshot of all of this so you guys can see in probably the comment section. So you guys can check it out and see exactly what we're seeing as you're watching this. Feel free to leave any comments if you got questions. Please make sure you go hit that like and subscribe button. And again, big shout out to our sponsors, Key City Brewing, Drink, Rebel, Repeat. I'm going to go take those cans to the post office right now. Fucking now. I got the box. I got them ready. I'm going to wrap them and we're going to go. So I'm out.
I'm parched.
I bet you are. I got you, my dude. Any last words?
Go Chiefs.
Go Bucks. Blitz out.